All right, guys. Today we are going to be reacting to philosophical. I think it's Eric, right? Triggers when mention a fact about single mother. Oh, there we go, folks. Jump in.
Andrew, one more thing. Andrew, can you pull up that stat? Because you said something about a mother's knows best. I'm glad you said that. I seen a stat, if I'm not mistaken, they said that a single father and his provision, and how he cares about his kid, has been proven to be equivalent to a two-parent household or better. So do women really know best?
You take one study and you think that's supposed to represent all men and women in the world?
I know a lot of good fathers. I know a lot of goofy-ass mothers.
One sec. Go ahead, Andrew.
I also know a lot of people that don't
One
have
sec.
that.
One sec.
I
Go
get
ahead,
triggered.
Andrew.
I'll explain this stat
Yeah,
from both.
plenty of men that leave their
Wow.
families for,
And women, and they have mad
and
kids.
it's way more.
This is Brian. This is you losing control, man. You cannot lose control. This lady right here, she thinks you own the panel. She doesn't respect you. You have to pull the hammer down from the beginning, guys. I'm telling you, man.
It's
Guys,
way more
that's what
men that's
y'all
leaving their
want, guys.
families.
I'll get you guys in. Go ahead, Andrew.
So here's the stat on this. So he's right that generally speaking, so it used to be that there was a default in the court that children basically always went with the mother. As that has decreased, as more and more fathers have been awarded custody, we've been able to do some longitudinal studies on the outcomes of children who are raised in a single mother household versus a single father household. And it is true that the outcomes for children in a single father household do much better. This is not due to income. This is due to the fact that your rates significantly increase by bringing additional men into a children's life who's not the father. Women do this. However, the case is that men, when they bring females into the life of children, they're not much of a physical threat to the children because the father can do something about it. So ultimately, yes, stepdads, the abuse rates go up. It's not that most stepdads are abusive. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that the abuse rates do go up. And promiscuous women, the abuse rates significantly go up. So yes, single father households tend to have much better results and outcomes regardless of the socioeconomic status.
And that's just
Because
based
of
off
the stepmom.
information on that one study. Like that's
No,
my question.
multiple.
Okay.
No, it's multiple studies. So
Okay.
these are multiple longitudinal studies which go over this. And so there's other things too. There's some factors for women here. Like for instance, the fact that there's way more women who have custody of their children, right? You would think that the numbers would be reduced for men because now we have a much higher pool. So then we kind of break that down per capita. So what we do when we dive in is we find this, that when you bring strange men around your kids, the chances that your kids get abused go significantly up. Right? Because you can't do much about it. You can't do much about it. Men can do something about it. So if men are in, and these are other studies which show this, if men are in relationships with women, and they begin abuse of the children, men put a stop to it very, very, very quickly. Women don't often do that. So these are dependent situations, but men, it does seem that their kids have better outcomes if they're single men than single women.
And it seems like men pick better mates when they have children than women do, in my opinion.
Well, I don't know if they pick better mates, but they
Yeah,
can
I
just
disagree.
Just from what I've seen in my life. I ain't got the
Yeah,
data.
they can just physically do something about it, right? Women don't have this force option. They can't be like, stop abusing my kid or else.
Yeah, they can.
Men can do that. They can just walk over and, you know what I mean? Like they have this kind of nuclear option on force that women don't have, which puts women at this big disadvantage if they're going to be single and raising kids.
But Andrew, that still speaks to the type of man she picked too, though, because every man is not abusive. So if you're picking a guy that is a threat to your kids, doesn't that say something about your evaluation of a man?
Most step parents are not abusive. That's not what I'm saying.
No, I agree.
Most step parents are not abusive. It's just that the rates of abuse significantly increase the second you have other men who are not the biological father. Like, for instance,
Yeah.
you're in the abusive home with your biological parents. It's an abusive home. You're actually less likely to die in that abusive home than if the state takes you out of that abusive home.
Wow.
Like, that's how crazy these stats are when it comes to paternal instinct. And it's like, this is across the board. So you never want to get, it's really easy to be like, so that means no step parents. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying
I'm
that
not
there's
saying that-
disadvantage.
I have to move things on. I mean, just to finish up on this whole traditional thing, when it came to the last name.
I think Eric is a good guy, man. But I think he needs to, he needs to understand conversation skills, right? And I'm not saying that he have great conversation skills, but in context of debate, right? To listen to what Andrew's saying and just chew it a little bit better, because I don't think he's chewing some of these ideas. He's not chewing those ideas correctly.
The conversation that you and me were having, and you're dating a traditional guy, if you guys are engaged, it's over. I hope you understand that.
That's fine. If that's the
It is
basis of it, then
over.
it wasn't meant to be. That person doesn't know me.
Bro,
like
this
that,
girl's
doesn't
throwing away a
understand.
traditional man because
There's
she wants to
plenty
be.
of traditional men
She
out
won't be
there.
she wants a traditional man. She claims to be a traditional woman, but she won't even do the traditional thing of this is the tradition.
I'm not saying I won't take it, and I think in the
It does-
beginning I did state if it's somebody I said, okay, I'm gonna marry you.
A traditional guy, but if you're going to be submissive, do you want to be submissive to your husband?
I am submissive to my
Really?
husband, or
Okay.
to my husband, to my partner.
How would you be submissive if he's like, this is my decision on this? That's the end of the conversation.
It's conditional submission.
No,
Yep.
she wants to nag and have like multiple.
I'm definitely
no, hold on.
not nagging. I think
This is
Yes,
the-
you're
she wants
nagging.
to have
She's nagging. She's nagging. What she does is when you're talking and she's over talking, she's nagging. That's a nag. You're nagging.
like numerous conversations about this and nag and hope that he finally relents in his position that he wants you to take the last name. This is all the conversation that needs to happen.
No, it's
Hi.
a thorough thing. I want
No,
to
I don't-
go
n-
through.
I don't need to
I don't know what comes
justify-
with your last name. I don't know what you got going on in your family history and stuff like
we're
that.
engaged.
Also.
We're engaged.
What
You
does
should
it-
know me by now.
Who cares? In fact, you have a great last name. Let's say the last name in this situation
Yeah, what if it
sucks.
doesn't go with my name? Yeah.
No, how about everything is great with his past? I don't know what that has to do. Everything is great in his past, but he has like a kind of bad sounding last name. Do you want to keep your last name?
It
Yeah.
would have to really depend on how much I
Yeah.
love that person, how much I.
The reason she's answering these questions like this because you want to be difficult. Man, I personally think when it comes to females like this, guys, this kind of genes, right? Just to put it this way, cannot replicate, man. It's because I'm a good Christian, but at the same time, spending energy with people like this is just a waste, man. And we can do this. Listen, guys, we can do this. We can regain some of this power. Okay, we can regain some of this power. However, it's gonna take a lot of time. It's gonna take a lot of time, especially with frame. And it's gonna be exercise like this right at the beginning of the show. Make sure you put the rules correctly, enforce the rules, right? Invite certain females that just are things that you're looking as a guy. All these things, but it's gonna require so much force, like of not physical force, but the force of applying some of these kind of rules that it's gonna change things. But this right here is so tiring because they're nagging. See, the need to be right so big that's nagging. You trying to talk, they want to talk when you're talking. It's very toxic. And look at her body language right here in the middle, leaning back. So she don't care. She don't care about the podcast and the host. You have to put these females straight, man. Sometimes you have to take a little. You have to throw one of these females away, and that way you can set up the tone. You might have to make it a thing until you get the idea, right?
I
Really?
like want to get married to them.
You already agreed to.
You obviously love the guy.
If I already said yes and it was a conversation we already had, and I'm like, yes, I'm already marrying you, I've already said yes to that, I'm going to probably most likely take your name.
No.
But prior
Most
to me
likely.
saying yes,
I
prior
don't
to me
wanna
saying
most
yes
likely.
to marry you,
Most likely,
if
I'll
I'm
never
saying yes
divorce
to
you.
marrying you,
Most likely.
we're already at the establishment I'm
hold
taking
on,
the
go
last
ahead,
name.
go ahead.
Well, if I'm already saying yes to marrying you, I've probably already established we're taking the last name, right? But prior to me saying yes to marry you, we need to have this conversation on I need you to understand my placement and how I feel about my last name.
Nah, if that, man. Nah, we're not doing that. See, this is why the argument of high value man makes sense. When you're a high value man or alpha mindset, right, or a guy that respects himself, you're not gonna go through this. See, she's trying to negotiate with you when you already have the leverage. You see what I'm saying? Because if she already listen, a lot of these females are only looking for that 10%. That means you are the one with the power. That means that she had to say yes, even if your last mate is, caca or poop. Let's say your last name is poop. Poop in the barrel. You're the one with the money. You're the one with. I'm guarantee you have the leverage. You have the money. You have the fame. You are that guy. She's not asking these questions. It's all a show. It's not real, guys.
And can we have that conversation?
How many
And then
times
if
do we
you're
have to
like,
have- how
and
many
then
times
if
do we
you're,
have to have
if
the
in that
conversation?
if in that conversation you're like,
Watch.
no,
We're-
I'm strict. I want you to have my last name, and that's what it's gonna
It
be.
shouldn't even be a conversation. You should just be like,
Well, unfortunately, we live in modern days. And
cool.
that's,
Pay for your own shit until we're married.
I do.
I'm never going to protect you. I'm never going to open the car door. You can do all that shit.
Okay, then I'm also not going to clean the house. I'm not going to cook for you. I'm not going to take care of you on the other traditional aspects that I'm all supposed to cover if we're going to go
see,
exactly
sign
how it
language.
is.
Cool.
Because I'm over
Perfect.
one traditional thing and I have, a controversy.
Yo, this is a problem. See, this is a main problem. Cooking and cleaning is already a default. It's not even a negotiation. I can do that for myself. I don't need you for that. See, as a man, you already do those things. Yeah? So you're already doing it. So now you have to bring something more than that the guys already have. And she's not mentioning that. You see, this is where Brian is losing this conversation.
Or I look at that a certain way. Now you want to take all the traditional aspects off the table.
That's a big thing, though.
That it is a big thing. That's
I'm putting
why
my
I
life
want to
on the
have a
line. Somebody won't even take my
conversation.
name.
That's why I want to have a conversation about it. Let's talk about it.
You do, but a man in that position don't.
But what is I don't understand the point of having the conversation. If you met a guy and he's like, yeah, I'm super traditional, and he's like, I want to have a conversation about all the ways in which you expect me to be traditional. He's like, I want to have a conversation about paying for the first date. Bro, I guarantee you, if you went on a date with a dude and he's like, babe, I want to have a conversation about who's going to pay for this date, you'd be like,
What?
it's over for that dude. And you know it.
Yeah.
You know it would be.
She know it. She knows true, but again, they don't want to admit that truth because it make them look like bad people, man. And they're all laughing. They know she's lying too, see? But they're all protecting each other.
Over. You'd be like,
I'd be like,
you
what's the
hold on.
conversation you want to have about it? Like,
Oh, well, because
what's going on? Why you want to talk about it?
the economy and look, it's just, I would really appreciate if we go like 50-50 on this until we're married.
So if you ask me out on this date and you're like, hey, I want to take you out, that's yours.
Do you ask guys out on dates?
I've
that's
asked
no.
people to go out.
Oh,
Nah.
no. First date.
I've initiated.
Stop. Not you guys always do this?
Yeah.
Oh, the boyfriend I've been seeing for 3 months, I asked him out to lunch. No, first dates.
Okay, first
You guys are
date,
Not a friend of yours.
it's not a thing. That's not really a thing
You don't
that
do
I've
it.
had to experience
Exactly.
or
So
I've
who
tried
cares?
to experience.
Who cares?
But I will take my man out.
Yeah, just a naggy, man.
Go take
No,
care of
we're
my man.
not
That's
talking
first.
about
Are we
man.
only
No,
talking
we're talking about
first?
initial.
Congrats. The guy's been paying for 3 months, and then you'll take him out once to fucking McDonald's. Congratulations.
Well, to
such a
use a
provider.
guy
Okay, let's go, Andrew.
No.
Let's go, Andrew. He's been listening. Come on now.
here, he's used many of my arguments. I think I'll steal one of his for a change. Let me just ask you this directly. This is Myron Gaines has said this in the past. It's actually a pretty worthy question. Would you date a super flamboyant and sassy man who promises that he'll be a traditional man for the right woman, but he needs a few dates to make sure that you're the one?
Corn and tobacco addicts.
Pretty good.
I mean, I feel like it takes a few days to see the person in general,
Listen to
right?
the rest of the question.
Oh, go.
Would you date a super flamboyant, sassy man who promises that he'll be traditional for the right woman, but he needs to test you first by going on a few dates with you?
And paying? Like 50-50?
I didn't answer the question.
Money answers all things. They pay
See,
us all good.
man, they cannot allow tension to be built, man. These people, man, they cannot allow the tension to be built. They have to just say something to release the tension.
No, I feel like actions speak louder because you can come off flamboyant, you can come off certain things, but then in
Got
those
her.
dates that we're
She
getting
doesn't realize I got her.
to know each other, you can show me that traditional rather than saying it, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna
Super
show
flamboyant.
you, like.
I
So you would actually take a flamboyantly sassy man and
have,
tell
and it didn't
him
go well.
that one day maybe he would decide he would be traditional for you if you were worthy of it, and he needed to test you first. You would really do that?
Like I said, you see along those dates if that person is really traditional or not, or super flamboyant, and halfway through, I'm like, okay, now it's too sassy for me, no tradition whatsoever. Yeah, then I'm out of there.
That's
But
not, yeah.
you don't know anything unless
I
you
like
try.
a little sass.
See?
I
See?
bet you do. The only reason y'all
They
like
need to be right. You see, she destroyed the conversation. Oh, man, what's the perfect moment. This is how men feel about women that are extremely masculine. And they're extremely masculine, and they say that they're going to be feminine when they find the right man. There you go. But they have to jump in and be stupid. Yeah.
Like a little sass, because you know a little sass means you can control them a little bit. Yeah, that's about it.
No.
I've had
Do y'all
sassy,
agree with this statement, fellas?
manipulative
I like my men a little emotional.
Well, we had the conversation. Do y'all agree with this, fellas? I feel like modern women will sacrifice being happy to be right, while men will sacrifice being right to be happy.
I don't know.
What
How about this one?
Maybe.
Men will sacrifice their happiness for their family. Women will sacrifice their family for their happiness.
No,
Yeah.
I know a lot of.
Yeah, no, that hey, Ryan has a point. TikTok, they all say the same thing. I just had my divorce because I felt that I was not happy and I deserve happiness, and I speak with my son or my daughter, whatever, because of happiness. I feel happy. So it's me.
Women, I know women.
You
who
just threw away a good guy because your last
stay
name.
There are good guys in the world. There are godly men out there that will freaking be willing to take that
Y'all always
conversation
think-
with me.
Yeah.
But I know women who stayed in unhealthy, toxic relationships that they hate and they didn't want to be in and were very
There we
depressed
go, I
for it
told
to
you.
keep
For
the
their
family together.
Yep.
Well, guys, if you're feeling happy, you leave the family, the kids, you're the bad guy. You see, this is why no fault divorce was a huge mistake.
This small ass list. Y'all always want to find these
Again
anomalies
with
to
the
make
small
y'all
list,
point.
but you
You do
saying
the
there's
same.
nothing.
No, I don't. You- I
You're
ain't-
like, I know somebody that did that. On
No,
me,
no,
I had an
'cause
aunt.
you know him too. Who you from?
LA.
Eggs. You please.
Nah, see, she's being difficult because she's chest testing the guy, man. Ah, what a waste, man. What a waste. A great moment and they mess it up at the end. The reason Andrew Wilson asked that question is because if she said no, he would say that's how, and Andrew would just flip it on her. That's how men feel when they date a hyper masculine woman that says that she will be feminine when she finds the right man. Perfect moment to just shut down the conversation, but again, these people have to come in and Brian didn't stop it. Yeah. Let me know what you guys see in the comment section below. Like always, guys, I'll see you in the next one.